Salt and Sanctuary has a lot of really powerful builds. One of them that you absolutely have to try at some point is the Barrage build. Do you like fast fire weapons? Do you also like magic? Well, this gives you both in one. Today, we find out if you can beat Salt and Sanctuary using only magic barrage spells. Mage is the optimal starting class for 1 point in magic. Deep is unbeatable as we don't have the right spells yet. Select Devara for your creed as it's the most fitting. Then we're gonna need a few things. Sodden Knight skip past the first section of the game. Collect various items found here and there to sell at a merchant. Use this newfound gold to purchase a small dagger from the blacksmith. With a point or two in stamina, we should be able to dagger flip over towards Castle of Storms. It's in these halls past a knight and electric trap where we can find Lightning Barrage. Luckily, it is usable already, making the next round of collecting far easier. Get a mage from under the Nomad Merchant and past a large creature. To the right of the 3 Sanctuary, you can find another knight who, when defeated, drops Conduit of Mind, a ring granting much more mana, essentially. As always, I grab my jack-o'-lantern helmet as it replaces the bandaged ring and looks great. Just into Watching Woods is a chest containing crimson armor, which we can't wear just yet. Make it to Sunken Keep where the crystal moat ring can be found. This decreases the heavy cost magic has on your stamina. Kraken Cyclops is here, and he's pretty tough at this stage of the build. Lightning Barrage sends out a multitude of lightning balls. Hold the spell to send out more, though the animation does get you caught if you're not careful. Surprisingly, it doesn't consume a ton of mana. I mean, compared to how much damage you deal, this is very lenient. Really solid against larger targets where it can connect multiple times. Kraken didn't stand a chance, though we definitely needed at least 1 mana potion to make it all the way through. That, and a bit of patience. Placing down our mage, we can purchase our first staff. Behind here is the Link of Fire and Sky that we won't be using. It's a must-have for every mage run, but it's not gonna work because of something else we have to have equipped here soon. Skip Jester to accept our Vertigo brand, and finally back up at the Devara Sanctuary, we can scale up to acquire 1 Storm Ring. Amplifies elemental magic imbalance, while also providing a huge damage boost. Does not work if you have the Link of Fire and Sky ring on, hence why we passed that one up. And here's a pretty good idea of what we're looking at. Elemental imbalance will build up from using 1 element of magic too much. With Storm Ring, it's quite easy to fully build up by accident and get defeated by yourself. Not my proudest moment, but at least we know now rather than later. Early on in this run, the idea is simple. Spam a large blast of balls from a good distance. Do this again, and then wait patiently for that bar on the top to cool down. There is a way to manually get rid of that bar, but it requires using the other element. Electric will get rid of fire, and fire will get rid of the electric. Kind of a yin and yang type deal, where you need 1 magic to use the other. However, we can't get fire until we reach the ziggurat. Pretty far into the game. There is a workaround, but it's gonna require a few bosses. Unfortunately, I did forget to upgrade my staff. Not that big of a deal since this packs quite a punch, and it's early on, but certainly would have looked coolerer, which is becoming a word I actually use in my life, so probably a good idea to stop saying that. An interesting premise of this build is to build blue. You grab lightning magic, level up your magic stat, and grab several mana potions in the skill tree. For our rings, we can equip all 4 blue options that revolve around magic. Charged ring is the last one to find, easily bought from mages for some gold, giving you most of what you need to reach the final boss. Our best advantage is insane reach. The spell is actually kinda nuts with that. It's very unbelievable that this is usable with almost no stats whatsoever. And it'll clear anything. Just lob out a bunch and watch the magic happen. A little easy to get caught against Jester because again, you should upgrade the staff by this point. Perseverance and keeping a close eye on that dangerous bar at the top get the job done in the end. Okay, so we finally can get the staff to +4 and take on Kraken Dragon, who is, if you didn't know, very, very weak to lightning. So much so that there are very few faster ways to take him down than what we have here. Poor guy got to fly up a single time, only fire breathed once or twice and got absolutely shocked to his very core. Beautiful stuff, indeed. With the wall jump brand, we jump our way down towards the hidden House of Splendor. Joining up with them is reserved for physical builds, so what the heck are we doing here? Well, as it turns out, there's more than one way to get our next spell. Ranking up in this creed to level 5 by farming a few enemies allows the mage to sell Flame Barrage, a class 3 magic option that's identical to the one we have, just fire instead of lightning. Now take a look at our magic and balance bar. With both spells swapped back and forth, you never build up any of the deadly magic disease. Not only that, but now we have fire that deals insane damage, plus some extra burn over time. If any boss is resistant to one element, they're weak to the other, and so there's almost nothing that stands a chance against us. With our staff on level 5, we do need to head down and absolve our sins, allowing us to join back up with Devara since golden wine heals aren't ideal for us. Farm a few enemies for this creed as well to get a decent amount of mana potions. With our magic robes finally in style again, we completely decimate the third lamb. Holy magic, this is some crazy damage. Each cast of fire cuts down a fifth of his health, just like that. Sadly, I did take a single hit of damage. Yes, I know I'm getting rusty here. Didn't take me long to hop back up though, and it was over a bit too quickly after that. With the Hardlight brand, we reach through toward Drag King. Believe it or not, there's a massive increase of power still waiting for us. I mean, after all, this is a starting staff that we're still using. The King is nearly immune to fire, making the process longer than most other encounters. But here's a little secret. Aiming actually matters. The more balls you can get to actually connect several times over, the more damage you deal. So aiming up as we get close to him seems to be more effective. This will be much more noticeable against the next boss, but still, it's a personal game of what's the best spot to aim for. Anyway, Bloodless Prince was a boss, technically. Because he's so freaking massive, this spell can't help but shine. Also helps that both elements work wonders on him, and he leaves more than enough time to cast after each slam. Again, I take damage, not once, but twice. How dare I? Probably a good idea to take some damage though, or else you'd have to feel bad for the guy. Even Coveted are a complete joke. These guys tend to be a sponge and a half, considering you're fighting an inanimate object. Then again, that inanimate object can both burn and be shocked. We have just enough range to connect while it's off screen, and we're safe under both ghosts. Stamina is something you absolutely want to increase after getting magic close to 50. This helps with dodging and makes sure you don't use 100% of your green bar on each cast. A bit redundant when boss fights don't last longer than 20 seconds, but it's the thought that counts. With an almost fully level staff, we head for our last build upgrade, Witch of the Lake. Why, that's a mighty fine weapon you have there. Be a shame if someone blasted you with magic and then took it. Somewhat poetic, spamming a magic user to death with magic. After all the times this old lady has taken us down with dark arcane powers, this felt really good. Super easy to do too, because you can't really miss. She's either above you or directly in front of you, and that's a first try I will absolutely take. Ah, yes, I forgot this staff requires a Shimmering Pearl. That means Mal is next up on our list. She's probably the most challenging boss overall when using both Barrage, as her teleport can place her right next to you while you're still in the cast animation, and over half the time, you're on 0 stamina. Our damage is still super ridiculous, so I wasn't worried, though there were I think 4 times where she got me and I had to back away. Fire does seem quite a bit stronger now that I'm beginning to notice, and it is a class 3 instead of a class 1, which makes sense. Shimmering Pearl in hand, plus 20 minutes of farming these knights for 100,000 salt, we can officially transmute our staff into Soraya's staff, which I'm likely pronouncing wrong, as I usually do. Drop down into the Dark Fray Drowned Tome, and ta-da! She's fully upgraded. Something I was totally unaware of for Karstja was, man, is this staff heavy. I was getting somewhat closer to a light roll at this point, while now I actually have a heavy roll. This does mean we need to tank a hit every time his stab down is used, because when he starts doing that 3 times in a row, heavy roll just isn't fast enough. Heck, that brings up an interesting point. No wrapped link for this run, and I haven't even noticed. Bosses go down from a distance, mitigating our need to roll fast anyway. Always is nice to find a build that doesn't use that, seeing as it's really common. If you were wondering how Tree of Men went, well, he went. 2 casts to delete every single Burning Man, then 2 more casts to cut down the Metal Tree. He's weak to lightning, that much is obvious enough. Husk lasted no longer than 14 seconds. I allowed him to fire the pistol twice, at most, as his fire rain only happened once, just standing close and Gatlin magic across his undead torso. Pew pew spells seem to be pretty good, I think. But of course, Stench was a highlight. His whole shtick is summoning minions to bother you. Well, what if we could extinguish those minions and him at the same time? Stay just out of poison range, and the fight's over before it can begin. I do love me some fire against this guy, let me tell ya. Redshift brand means we now take on Ronan Cran. Not much to see, although he did try much more than he usually does. A lot of times you don't even see him do these flips. Had he stood completely still casting his buffs, this would have been too boring, I think. A welcome change in behavior, even though it didn't increase his lifespan or anything. Unskinned did kinda suck. The Brute gets absolutely cooked, literally, since I'm using fire, while the Mage does not go down as quickly. One thing that really surprised me is how few mana potions we need per fight. Usually you need 0, and if the boss does have some magic defense, you take maybe 1, 2 if the stamina's a little low for you. Early on it was far more important, but at full power it's hardly an issue anymore. You might be wondering, why didn't I go join the Magic Creed up above Karstjaw? Well, first off, those guys suck. With terrible healing items and a long jumping puzzle to reach, I simply didn't feel like it. Argument number 2 being that we really did not need it. Technically, we could have got more magic damage by leveling up at the leader. You heard that right, we could be dealing even more damage. Or instead, we could have gotten items that grant mana back as we deal damage. Let's just try and not get greedy here. From what I'm seeing, that would be overkill. Forgotten King's mage counterpart was annoying as heck. Never seen the magic track me so perfectly before. Actually forced me to rely on healing potions for like the first time this whole run, I think. Scourge is perfect. The large fellow loves using attacks that you can jump over. Since our spells hold us up in the air, there's never a time where we can't cast Gatlin balls at him. Listen, I'm not saying these are the best spells in the game, no, because technically they aren't. At least not on paper. But man, they probably are the most fun. If anything even looks your way, you simply cast Death as it barrels towards them, 15 orbs at a time. Also, Fire Barrage deals more fire damage than anything I've seen. This thing is actually nuts. With 11 endurance, 28 willpower, 50 magic, and a medium roll, we take on the Nameless God. He's a lot more beefy than you might expect. Guess all that armor isn't for nothing, seeing as elemental damage doesn't faze him a bit. Our second advantage comes into play though, that being near infinite range. Oh, these two spells definitely have a fall-off point, but it's hardly a factor when that fall-off point is at the end of the screen. Run back and forth casting in between sword swings, and the fight is as good as won. Needed 3 mana potions in total, and I don't think he ever cast his own magic a single time. His loss, not mine. So, can you beat Sultan Sanctuary using only Barrage magic? Yes, and it's super OP. My personal question was, is the elemental imbalance mechanic worth it? I mean, no one uses it because the ring to nullify its effect is so easy to find. But Storm Ring does provide such a massive boost that if the option's there, imbalance ain't really all that hard to deal with. As long as you can have 1 fire and 1 lightning spell, go for it. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to like and comment down below. I have at least 1 more run of SNS planned, that being Throwing Knives only. After that, I think we've covered everything in the game. So pretty darn exciting, and be sure to stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.